Grow United launched the Grow blockchain with a mission to nourish the world by providing three things: transparency, traceability, and trust. Transparency, giving anyone the ability to see in real time the path their food took to arrive at your plate, including anything that was fed to it, sprayed on it, or injected in it. Traceability. Grow United is working on an instant notification system to alert you if something you purchased has a recall or health alert. Trust. The Grow United logo is peace of mind. When you see produce carrying our seal, you can purchase with confidence, knowing each item is rigorously inspected, tracked, and verified on the blockchain for quality. Grow United is working on green initiatives like planting trees, grasses, and cultivating wetlands to balance out the carbon emissions of food production. These carbon credits are stored on the blockchain and purchased by those seeking to achieve their net zero goals. Grow United is also investing heavily in vertical farming projects that increase food production while reducing their carbon footprint. So join our mission, and together, let's grow.
Or you have all this information at your fingertips. Well, then that led to Web 2, which was the platform economy, which is our ability to come in and create, to become creators on the platform of the internet. But that was still owned by a completely centralized system. So you have these big companies that own all of the data, they own all of the profits, and they own all of the decision making. Well, Web3 and blockchain, it takes everything, every benefit from Web 1 and Web 2, and it moves us into Web3, which is the ownership economy. We're now us, right here. Not just me, but you. You're as much of an owner as this as anybody that's talking on stage. There's no difference between you and I or you and these guys, other than maybe just what we talk about on a daily basis. But everything comes back to the ownership economy, to where we own it.
Thank you for taking time, Will.
Yeah, man.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Can you tell us about your background, who you are, and why we are in Amsterdam?
Yeah. So my background is I played sports my whole life. Kind of like you were soccer, but I played professional rugby. And when I got done with that, I wanted to help people. I loved fitness, I loved health, but I didn't really know what I was going to do. So I ended up going to business school. And then when I was in business school, I walked into this gym to join the gym. And instead of joining the gym, I bought the gym. And so the owner was like, well, you could buy a membership or you could buy my gym for this much. And so I ended up buying the gym. And then spent the next 5 years helping people lose weight, get healthy, figure out how to live the best life they could. And in that journey, figured out that food was the #1 thing that could help people. Like what we eat, the quality of food, the quantity of food, that's what makes us the healthiest, right? And so in that process, my best friend and college roommate, he has a big farm. So 17,000 acres, like 60,000 head of cattle. He milks 30,000 cows a day, twice a day. So it's crazy. Lots of cows running through. So he needed to lose some weight. And so I helped him. And what we realized was if he just ate his food that was grown in a regenerative way, he lost a bunch of weight, he looked good in the mirror, and he felt better. So that led us down this idea that if we can help people track and trace and know where their food comes from, then we can help nourish the world. And so that's when I sold my gyms. I left the gym industry and I decided we're gonna help people. The trains.
Big frame, we can wait. Yeah, do you help people? Yes.
Yeah, so we decided we wanted to help people with that. So what we did is we built an app called Farm Tracer. And that app tracked everything that he did on his farm. So we started with beef, everything that the plants that the cows ate, what was happening with the cows, and we tracked everything. And then we put it inside of an app. And so if you wanted to see like, hey, this is the steak I'm eating, or this is the apple I'm eating, you could scan a QR code and all of the data on that piece of food, you could see it. And then we met the blockchain. And we realized that blockchain gave us the ability to open source all of that data, to let the users actually own the data and put it in this open source platform. So that got us all the way to launching the Grow blockchain that is all around nourishing people, animals, and the planet with trust and traceability around everything that we make on the earth.
So everyone who want to know exactly what you're feeding these animals and how they're treated and everything, and then the way until the store, you can follow on the blockchain.
Yep, exactly. That's the goal.
That's really cool, and to understand now we have environment issues around the world. It's even more. Yeah, we need this technology.
Yeah, and especially when you look at, like, our mission is to nourish the world, right? And it starts with us as people, because we are the ones that are kind of manipulating, like, what do we plant, what do we put in the soil, what do we eat, and how do we grow all of that? So it kind of starts with us, but then it comes into the entire system of how we get that. And I think, I always joke, because I do this on stage or I talk to people in interviews, and I always have people stand up and I say, okay, I want everybody to stand up and stay standing up if you ate food today. And most people stay standing up. And I say, okay, stay standing up if you know where that food came from. And usually like 90% of people sit down at that point. Then I ask people, okay, if you're still standing up, do you know what went into growing that food? And do you know the carbon footprint of that? And then almost everybody sits down at that point. In fact, I've only had 2 people ever make it through, and one of them was with you today.
Today, yeah.
Yeah. So that's good, but we need everybody to be able to do that. To say, yeah, I know what went in, it was grown sustainably and regeneratively, so it was good for the earth, good for the soil, and good for me too.
So how does it work? Is it like Grow is following this process and like putting their name on the product before it's like a licensed Grow product?
Kind of. So our goal is, you have all of these labels today, right? So these labels come in and they say, okay, this is organic, or this will always come when we're saying good stuff.
Exactly.
Our goal is to just show people transparency and say, if you're a producer, we want to make you the hero of the story again. Because here's the problem. No one knows where their food comes from, and it's really hard to grow animals or grow feed or grow food and plants. It takes a lot of work. Well, we've forgotten about that, right? Like, think about what you had this morning. Do you know what went into growing it?
Of course not.
No, nobody knows,
no
right?
chance, no.
So there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that go in from producers. So when you talk about farmers, ranchers, people that are growing food, we just want them to be the hero of the story again. Because if you're gonna go through the effort and invest in growing food, putting that data out there is the first step. And then we, as the consumers, the people that eat it, we reward them by paying for it. And so all it has to do is, as a producer, you raise your hand and say, hey, I'm just gonna put my data there that says this is how I grew this food. And then you own that data, not the government, not a big centralized corporation, but you as the producer, and then the consumer can come in and buy it for you. So all of that can be done on the Grow blockchain, but you're actually stamping your own food by saying this is how I grow it.
And also getting rid of bad actors. And like me, professional soccer player, I want to have the best possible food.
Yes.
And I'm willing to pay premium for it, 100%, if I can know 100% certainty.
Yeah.
So, and for me in Sweden are very, I think, aware of this problem. And I know some people and some friends who's having some businesses who want to have transparency.
Yeah.
And be transparent how they're making the product, and I think Grow can make a big difference.
Big difference. And I like what you said about bad actors, because in the current system, without full transparency, there's a lot of bad actors, and a lot of it is marketing. And so they put this label on that says maybe organic or grass-fed, grass-finished, but the truth is, it's really not. When you really dig into the food system, there are a lot of bad actors. And we talk to a lot of them because they love our tech, but they want to use our tech to manipulate. That's not our goal. And so our first goal is we need a community of people that care about this. Like, if you care about it, I care about it. But we kind of need a small army to create what I call the food renaissance, because we have to change the entire system. It has to be different than what it is today. And the same way that the Renaissance came in the past and gave us new art, new technology, new things, that's what we're bringing to the table. Food is not different, the same way that art was not different back then, right? But we have to create it in an entirely new way and leverage the new technologies that we have today. And it just starts with us, like people in the community raising their hand and saying, I want to know where my food came from.
Yeah, love Grow project, and also to put it on the blockchain, and people can understand it easy, I think.
Yeah.
So And especially in Sweden, I think, let's say if you're a company in Sweden and you want to show people that you're a good actor and you're doing the right way to produce your meat or your product, whatever it is, how can they use Grow blockchain then?
Great question. So there's two ways. The first way is contact us and make sure that we know how your project is. And so we can put on this video all the ways to contact us. The second way is you actually run a node, because the way that a blockchain works is it has to run on a server. And that server is called a node. And so you can actually buy a license to a node and you run the blockchain with me. Like, I don't own the blockchain, you don't own the blockchain, we're just node owners in the blockchain. And so as that's running, it confirms all of the actions that are tracking everything. And then as a reward for that, we have our own crypto token that is mined every single day to run that node.
And today you can buy meat from these farmers in
Washington.
In Washington, in Puerto Rico, no?
Yep, Puerto Rico, Texas, Washington, Hawaii, and then we're working on farms all over the world.
So you can take your Grow tokens, go to these farms, and buy meat or whatever.
Yeah, you can actually buy, so like my meat, my eggs, my milk, I can take my Grow tokens and I can get it, and I know exactly where that food came from.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's cool, man.
And when people understand this technology and it's out there, I think the good actors will understand it and they will. It's a no-brainer.
Yep.
For me, it's a no-brainer. I think when people understand it, it's a no-brainer for them as well. And what's your vision? The coming year, the coming 2 years, or 5 years? What's going on with the project?
So our biggest vision right now is we need people all over the world that are going to raise their hand and say, I want to know where my food came from. That's what will change this. We're talking about one of the biggest industries in the world because everybody has to eat. Every single person eats almost every day. And so the more people that join our movement and say, hey, I want to be a part of this food renaissance with the Grow blockchain, then we can start getting more and more producers on board, helping more in the supply chain, and it will get bigger and bigger. So right now it's about community, and it's about people, and about getting people behind the mission of what we're doing.
Do you want to go the whole globe? That's the vision?
Idea, yeah.
Yeah. So people in Sweden, Denmark, or Scandinavia?
Everybody. Yeah. Because the goal is everywhere in the world is a little bit different. And so the way you grow in Sweden is maybe a little different than we're here in Amsterdam today, or different than Hawaii, Puerto Rico, Washington. And so we need the entire world to be involved in feeding the entire world, so that we all know the best practices all over the globe. Because we're not going to make all the food in one area and then ship it worldwide. That doesn't actually help. It doesn't actually nourish the world in a good way either. And so it's all about getting local communities to learn how to feed themselves.
Yeah, adding value to everybody. Because now everybody understands how bad our food is. Like, it's so much shit into the meat, and you have injections and stuff. And when I did my research about how the food industry is today, it's awful.
It's not good.
And I want to have my health as long as possible.
Yes.
And for me, my health is number one, no matter what. You can have money, you can have cars and whatever, but if you don't have your health,
you have nothing.
And everything's all with the food.
Yep.
So I'm very hyped about this project.
Thank you.
I don't like to hype stuff, but I have a very good feeling, and I want to also help the community and give value to the Swedish farmers or Swedish companies. So if you have anything last to say before we end it?
I love it. I just would talk to the community of join us. Another train.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. See, every time we're gonna do it good, the train comes in. But it's all about community. It's about the people. It's about you. It's about us being able to say, hey, we care about our health. We care what we're doing. And so if you care about that, join us in our movement on the food renaissance.
Thank you for watching, and thank you.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, brother.
Perfect. Yeah, 20 minutes.
Perfect.
Yeah. Lovely.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, no, I have